Grigory Rasputin, the enigmatic Russian mystic, a man shrouded in controversy, yet radiating an untamed boldness. History remembers him as a figure who dared to live on his own terms, unfazed by societal norms or political pressures. His life, though controversial, offers a compelling study in fearless living. Rasputin navigated the treacherous waters of the Russian court with audacity. He challenged power structures, fearlessly voicing his opinions, even when they clashed with the established order. His actions, often unorthodox, stemmed from a deep well of self-belief and an unwavering conviction in his own path. This boldness, this audacity to stand apart, is a quality that resonates across time. It's a call to each of us to examine our own lives, to question our limitations, and to dare to embrace the fullness of our being. Rasputin's story, though steeped in history, whispers a timeless truth. Living fully requires embracing the unknown with courage and conviction. Fear, a universal human experience, binds us, limits us, keeps us tethered to the familiar. But what if we could reimagine our relationship with fear? What if we could see it not as an adversary, but as a guidepost, a signal pointing towards the edges of our comfort zones? To live boldly is to acknowledge fear, to understand its presence, but to refuse to be ruled by it. It's about recognizing that the very things we fear often hold the greatest potential for growth and transformation. Stepping into the unknown, embracing uncertainty, these are the crucibles in which courage is forged. The fear may linger, but it no longer holds the reins. We move forward, not in spite of fear, but alongside it, acknowledging its presence while choosing to be driven by something greater. Our values, our aspirations, our yearning to live a life that is truly our own. Courage is not the absence of fear, but action in the face of fear. It's a muscle that can be strengthened, a skill that can be honed through practice and intention. Just as Rasputin cultivated his unique brand of boldness, we too can develop our own blueprint for courage. Start by identifying the fears that hold you back. What are the limiting beliefs, the self-imposed restrictions that keep you from stepping into your full potential? Once you've acknowledged these fears, begin to challenge them. Question their validity, explore alternative perspectives, and gradually chip away at their hold on you. Each act of courage, no matter how small, strengthens the muscle of boldness. Start with small steps outside your comfort zone. Speak your truth. Take on a new challenge. Embrace vulnerability. With each step, you'll find your capacity for courage expanding, paving the way for a life lived with greater intention and authenticity. Vulnerability, often perceived as weakness, is actually the birthplace of courage. It's in the act of showing up, imperfections and all, that we tap into our true strength. Just as Rasputin's boldness was intertwined with his willingness to be seen, flaws and all, embracing vulnerability is key to unlocking our own fearless potential. Vulnerability is not about seeking approval or validation. It's about being honest with ourselves and others, about acknowledging our limitations and fears. It's about showing up in the world as we are, without pretense or armor. This authenticity, this willingness to be seen, is what allows us to connect with others on a deeper level and to forge meaningful relationships. By allowing ourselves to be vulnerable, we create space for others to do the same. We dismantle the walls of perfectionism and create a world where authenticity and connection can flourish. In this space of shared vulnerability, we find the strength to face our fears and to step into the fullness of our being. History is replete with figures who dared to defy convention and embrace a life of boldness. From Joan of Arc, the peasant girl who led armies, to Martin Luther King Jr., the pastor who challenged racial injustice, their stories remind us that courage is not a trait reserved for the extraordinary, but a capacity inherent in us all. Each of these individuals faced immense challenges, navigated complex landscapes, and ultimately made a profound impact on the world. Their courage stemmed not from a lack of fear, but from an unwavering belief in their cause and a willingness to stand up for what they believed in, regardless of the consequences. Their stories serve as powerful reminders that even in the face of adversity, courage can bloom. Their legacies inspire us to examine our own lives, to identify the causes that stir our souls, and to consider how we too can contribute to a more just and compassionate world. Their stories remind us that even small acts of courage can ripple outward, creating positive change and inspiring others to embrace their own bold potential. Conviction, a deeply held belief, a fire in the belly. It's the fuel that propels bold action, the unwavering faith in a cause or a vision that drives us forward, even in the face of doubt and uncertainty. Rasputin's audacity stemmed from his unshakable conviction in his own spiritual path, a belief that fueled his actions and shaped his interactions with the world. Conviction is not about blind faith or unwavering certainty. It's about aligning our actions with our values, about pursuing a path that resonates with our deepest selves. It's about identifying what truly matters to us and then having the courage to live in accordance with those beliefs, even when it's challenging or unconventional. This unwavering belief in ourselves and our vision empowers us to face challenges head-on, to persevere through setbacks, and to maintain our course even when the path ahead seems uncertain. Conviction is the compass that guides us through the storms, the inner strength that allows us to rise above our fears and embrace the fullness of our bold potential. Boldness is contagious. When we dare to live authentically, to step outside our comfort zones, our actions create ripples that extend far beyond ourselves. Just as Rasputin's influence, despite controversy, resonated throughout Russian society, our own acts of courage can inspire and empower others to embrace their own bold potential. By showing up as our authentic selves, by challenging norms and embracing vulnerability, we create a space for others to do the same. Our courage becomes a beacon, illuminating a path for those who are seeking to break free from their own limitations and live a life of greater purpose and meaning. The impact of our boldness extends beyond our immediate circle. When we have the courage to speak our truth, to challenge injustice, to stand up for what we believe in, our actions can contribute to creating a more just and compassionate world. Boldness is not just about personal transformation, it's about creating a ripple effect that inspires positive change on a larger scale. For too long, many of us have lived in the shadows of fear and self-doubt. We've allowed limiting beliefs to dictate our choices, silenced our voices, and dimmed our inner light. But it's time to step out of the shadows and embrace the light of courage. It's time to reclaim our inherent boldness and live a life that reflects our true selves. This journey requires a willingness to confront our fears, to challenge the narratives that hold us back, and to embrace vulnerability as a source of strength. It's about recognizing that our imperfections, our struggles, are not weaknesses, but integral parts of our human experience. These are the very things that make us unique, that connect us to others, and that give our lives depth and meaning. As we step into the light of courage, we begin to see the world and ourselves with greater clarity and compassion. We shed the weight of expectation and embrace the freedom to define our own path, to live in alignment with our values, and to contribute our unique gifts to the world. Rasputin's story, though steeped in controversy, offers a powerful reminder that boldness is not a trait reserved for the extraordinary, but a capacity inherent in us all. It's a call to action, an invitation to unleash our own inner Rasputin, to tap into the wellspring of courage that resides within each of us. This doesn't mean we need to emulate his specific actions or embrace his controversial persona. It's about recognizing the spirit of audacity, the willingness to challenge norms and live authentically that he embodied. It's about finding our own unique expression of boldness, a way of being in the world that honors our values, our passions, and our deepest desires. The world needs your boldness, your unique voice, your willingness to stand up for what you believe in. Embrace the challenges, lean into the unknown, and trust in your own capacity for courage. The journey may be uncertain, but the rewards of living a bold, authentic life are immeasurable. A life lived boldly is not about seeking fame or fortune, but about embracing the fullness of our human experience. It's about living with intention, authenticity, and a willingness to embrace vulnerability. It's about leaving a legacy, not of material possessions, but of courage, compassion, and a commitment to creating a more just and loving world. Rasputin's legacy, though complex and controversial, reminds us that boldness leaves its mark on the world. Our actions, no matter how small, have the power to inspire, to challenge, and to create ripples of change that extend far beyond our own lifetimes. What will your legacy be? What stories will be told about your life, your choices, your impact on the world? The choice is yours. Embrace the boldness within you, live with intention and purpose, and leave a legacy that inspires generations to come. The world is waiting for you to step into the fullness of your being.